review. So we learned about how God wanted to speak to the people of Israel. And so he said, Moses, tell everybody to come and camp around this mountain, because I'm about to give you the most important lesson, the most important message that my people need to hear. And so the people gathered around the mountain. Moses went up to the mountain. And remember, God spoke from the big cloud, and a fire appeared. And God spoke so all of the people could listen. And God had told them, I need you to have your listening ears on. I need you guys to be ready to hear a message from me. And I need you guys to have self-control so that you can hear my voice. And God spoke. And all of the people heard the words. And God gave 10 commandments. So he said, put God first. He said, worship God only. Do not make any fake gods. Don't worship anything fake. Only worship God. He said, use God's name with respect. Remember the Sabbath. That means one day I want you to rest. I want you to focus on God and just rest. Number 5, this one's really important. Obey and respect your parents, because I will give you a blessing if you do. Number 6, don't hurt other people. Number 7, be faithful. Number 8, don't steal. Number 9, don't lie.
10.
And number 10, don't want
what other people have.
Good job, buddy. Yes, don't want what other people have. And the people said, God, we heard your voice. We will obey. So God told Moses, Moses, I need you to come up to the mountain and spend some time with me, because I'm going to put those 10 rules on pieces of stone. And so Moses went up to the mountain, and Jesus used his finger, and he wrote in these big blocks of stone the 10 rules. Well, Moses was gone for 40 days. Now, 40 days is not really a long time, but he was hanging out with Jesus for 40 days because God was really explaining to Moses different rules, different things he wanted them to do, different ways that he wanted them to worship. And so for 40 days, Moses is up on the hill with God. Well, meanwhile, down below, the people start thinking, hey, what's taking Moses so long? Why isn't Moses coming back? Now, Moses had a brother named Aaron. And so the people, they start complaining again. Where's that Moses guy? I think he's gone for good. He hasn't come back. It's been 40 days and we're getting tired of waiting. And so the people tell Aaron, Moses' brother, make us another God.
What?
Make us another God. And the brother, he cared more about what the people thought than what God thought. He was worried about what the people would think. And so he told the people, go get all of the gold jewelry from all of your wives and bring them to me. And so Aaron got all of the gold from all of the people in the camp, and he made something out of the gold. He made a gold calf. Because in Egypt, they used to worship cows. And so he thought, I'm going to make them a god like they had in Egypt. And so he made them a gold calf. And guess what? All of the people started to worship the gold calf. And they said, oh, gold calf, you're really the real God. You're the one that brought us out of Egypt.
No.
Oh. Did the gold cow bring them out of Egypt? No. Can the gold cow part the Red Sea?
No.
Can the gold cow bring food from heaven?
No.
Or can it bring water from the rock? No. But the people were worshiping it. And they were bowing down. Oh, gold calf, we love you, gold calf. And they were dancing around the gold calf. Oh, wow. When God heard and saw what the people were doing. Now remember, the people 40 days earlier had heard the 10 rules. What's rule number 1? Put God first. What's rule number 2? Worship God only. Do not have any other gods above me. They heard the rule 40 days ago. And in 40 days, sin, yucky, entered their heart. And they disobeyed God and they made a fake God. Well, God told Moses, Moses, get down there. He goes, because the people, he said, this is what God said. Your people, Moses, not God's people, your people have made for themselves a gold calf. And they're saying that the gold calf brought them out of Egypt. And so God was not happy. He said, he goes, am going to get rid of all of those people. He said, and Moses, I'm going to make you a great nation. Now, remember, who did God say was going to be a great nation?
Moses.
Abraham.
Moses.
Well, no, Abraham. Abraham was going to have all of the Israelites. These were Abraham's people. Well, God is upset, and he said, I'm going to get rid of those Abraham people. He goes, Moses, you are going to be the head guy. I'll make you a great nation. Now, Moses could have said, hey, I kind of like that idea. Me, a great nation? I'm kind of tired of dealing with those 3 million people that keep complaining. I think I want to be a great nation. Yeah, God, let's do that. Let's make me a great nation. Well, did you think Moses did that? No. Most people would have, but Moses is called a very humble man. And he went before God and he said, he literally bowed before God and he said, God, don't do that. He said, remember the promise that you made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, God, you said you were going to make Abraham's descendants a great nation. Forgive them, God. He goes, and if you don't forgive them, he goes, then don't forgive me either. He said, and he put himself down on the ground. He said, God, forgive your people. Remember the promise you made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For their sake, forgive the people. And guess what? God heard Moses' prayer, and he said, okay. He said, because Moses said, if you don't forgive them, don't forgive me. Let their sin be upon me. And God said, no. Moses, their sin is upon them, but I won't get rid of the people. I've heard your prayer and how much you love them. He goes, I won't get rid of them. And he goes, but you get down there. And so when Moses got down there, he's carrying the 10 Commandments. And when Moses sees what they're doing, that all the people are worshiping the cow, and they're dancing and singing and all this bad stuff, Moses throws down the commandments and he breaks them. And he says to his brother, what have you done? He said, why did you make the gold calf? Now Aaron, he breaks rule number 9. And he says, you know what? The people made me do it. He said, they gave me some gold and I just kind of threw it down and it just kind of came a cow all by itself. Now, is that what happened? Did a cow just magically appear? No. Aaron made it out of his hands and tools. And so he lied and he said, I don't know how it got there. I just kind of got this gold, threw it down, and there it came. And so Moses told Aaron that that's not true. You know, he knew it wasn't true. And so Aaron felt bad and the people felt bad. But there's always a consequence to our sin. Because even if God forgives us and he said it's okay, there was a consequence. And you know, God said, I forgive them, but those that sin are going to have a consequence. And God sent a plague on the people. And 3,000 people ended up dying for committing that sin. But God did not get rid of the whole nation. Now what's important about this is God said, Moses, come on back to the mountain and I'm going to give you the 10 Commandments. We'll make a new pair. And so the people felt really bad. And they were sorry, but there was a consequence to their sin. Moses went up with God and he spent some more time with God. And this is what I want you to find out. When Moses spent time with God and he came back to the people, Moses was changed. And this is what happened to Moses. Look, Moses came out of the mountain and he was shining. Because when you go up and you spend time with Jesus, you start to glow like Jesus. And what did Moses do? He was a man of prayer. He obeyed my commandments. I know. But when you hang out with Jesus, when Jesus says, if you love me, you'll obey me and you'll follow my commandments. And when we obey Jesus and we follow his commandments, we start to glow with the Holy Spirit. And so when Moses came out of the mountain, he glowed with the glory of God. And so what I wanted to show you guys is that you guys too, when we have Jesus in our heart and we love God and we follow his 10 Commandments, we start to glow. And that's why we sing this song. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. So that's what happens. When we hang out with Jesus, we start to glow. And when you guys do your Christmas show, and you start singing those worship songs, you're going to glow for Jesus on the stage. And mom and dad will get to see you. And your grandmas and grandpas, and you're going to shine the light of Jesus.